touchdown. And as I'm running, like he catches up to me low key. And there's like a big tree right on the left. So he pushes me to the tree. I'm like, yo, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, bro, you've been doing this like the whole time since we started back school. Like, wagwan. He's just like, oh, you think you're so much better than us? You think you're so much faster? You think you're so, huh? He pushes me on my chest. I'm like, yo, Sean, I really don't want to do this. And then he comes in. He's like, oh, you want to go, buddy? You want to go? You want to go? I'm like, yeah, bro, let's grab. I'm like, all right. So I push him. He kind of hits like the tree. He comes for a swing. I was like, Ali, bro. I kind of like, you know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I back up. And then I just like, I didn't even know I had this like strength within me. I just like went for a punch. Boom. Yeah, man. I remember I was in grade 12 and I asked out this one girl for prom. Her name was, I'm not going to say her name, but.
We ain't airing it. This part ain't in it.
Oh, okay. Her name was right?
Okay.
She was Italian, and St. Chris in Sarnia was like a very, very Italian, very Italian-driven school. So I put on a spectacle in the lunchroom. Everybody was doing these promposals, so I'm like, yo, I gotta come correct. I'm just not gonna ask a chick like, yo, Rod, like, yo, come to prom. And so I had this box where I keep all my jewelry in, and it's like very springy. So it's like when you open, it's like one of those cases you keep like your chains in or whatever. And I wrote like, will you go to prom with me? Kind of like I'm proposing to her, right? So come to lunch. All the man them know I'm like about to ask Valerie to prom. And then I go over to her and I sit down beside her. I like, you know, chop some stuff. I'm like, yeah, you know, Valerie, like, you know, whatever. Like, you're really cool. And then as I'm getting down on one knee, all the bros are just like, yo, Owen, let's go. And everyone's looking at my end. So as I get on the one knee, right, I ask Valerie, like, she reads the nose, like, will you go to prom with me? And as she's talking to me, but no one can hear what she's saying. She's telling me, hey, Owen, like, you know, I really like you as a friend, but like, I'm going to be going to the prom with my girls. So she rejects me right then and there. So me with my pride, I don't really react to it. I stand up, like, still looking happy, like as if she said yes. So as I'm walking back, everyone's just like clapping, like, let's go. Like, everyone like thinks she said yes. But I go down to the lunch table, like where I'm sitting at, and I'm telling the guys, I'm like, guys, like, she said no. So word gets around that she said no. So the whole spectacle goes down. But, you know, one of my best friends, Mike Rocca, he tells me, hey, bro, like, I just want you to know, and I always keep it real with you, man. I've never lied to you. This is Mike. The reason she said no, bro, is because you're black. Straight up. Wow. Mike tells me that. I'm like, man, like, what the hell? What do you mean? He's like, bro, listen. If you show up with her to pick her up for prom, and her Italian grandma is there, and she sees you, these Italian grandmas are mad racist, bro. So Valerie, she might rate you like that. She likes you. She's like friends with you, but her family might not rate you the way she's rating you. So she's saving you from like a lot of like, you know, stuff that can happen that you don't even know about. So don't even take it like personal like that, man. It's just like these old school grandmas and Italians, man, they see black people as like lazy, like, you know, there's a stigma they have of us. It's like we're lazy, we don't have a work ethic, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So Mike just kept it real with me. I told my mom that story, and she's just like, yo, honestly, when I'm not surprised, man. So don't even sweat it.
Damn, bro. How did he know that shit though? He was best friends with her or something?
He's Italian and he's seen it. Mike's Italian.
Yeah.
Mike Rocca.
Okay. Damn. How'd that make you feel, bro? Now after that, I'm like, damn, this is actually a much better story than I thought. Shit. Maybe we should have.
I mean, we can keep this, man. I mean, it's Wildcard, right? It is what it is. But
all right, I'll block her name out. Then I'll block her name out.
Yeah. But it's stories. Right. It's things like this that shape up your character. I mean, from that, growing up in Sarnia, man, I never really had like a bad racial experience, man. I mean, the only racial experience I ever had was actually here in Toronto, man. I was actually working for Good Life Fitness, and then I was going for a Timmy's run. So I was working as a fitness advisor. My manager and I, we go to Timmy's. This is on King and Bathurst, so we're standing at Timmy's. And, we get there. I get my regular order, honey cruller, dark roast, half a cream, half a sugar. And as I'm leaving, someone behind me says, "Go back to your country." Right? And I'm like, I look at Edric. I'm like, "Ed, did you hear that?" It's like, "Oh, Cindy, what are you talking about?" So I'm like, "Dog, like someone just told me to go back to my country, like behind me. Like I just felt this energy behind me." So we both turn around. We see this guy standing behind us. So this guy's waiting for the TTC. He's waiting for the streetcar to go back east on Queen and Bathurst. So I'm like, "Yo," I turn around. It's like this like fat guy. He's like white. And then he turns like, "Yeah, you." He looks at me. He's like, "Go back to your fucking country, you nigga." Like N-word, bro. In my face, my guy. And I'm just like looking at this guy. I look at Edric. Edric's like, yo, Cindy, don't even do anything, bro. Don't even do anything, man. Because I'm here holding like Timmy's, donuts, whatever. I'm holding my hot coffee. I'm ready to go back to the club, and we're both wearing Good Life shirts. So like whatever we do, anything, it's going to reflect back on the corporate brand, right? If I throw hands, Good Life is in the midst of things. Edric, my manager, he's another black guy too. So he's like he's like big bro to me. He's like, "Bro, don't even worry about it. Don't even sweat it. Like, this guy's a waste man. Don't even try and do anything with it." So I sucked out my pride. I looked at him and I kind of laughed, bro. You know what I'm saying? I kind of laughed it off. I was like, "Man, you're in such a low position in your life right now that's the first thing you're thinking about saying that to me." I just kind of like took like the higher road, and I just looked at it. I was like, "You know what? It is what it is." And I moved on, and I changed my attitude around it. And I was just like, "I think you're just going through some stuff and you wanted to like pick a fight." And yeah, dude, like that's what happened.
Wow. What a asshole, man. What a dumb. What the hell? Bro, I can't even first I'm sorry you have to go through that, bro. Damn. Some fat, loathing white man have to say something dumb. Like I hear people try to offload their energy onto you. Like that's some of the dumbest things, man.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. Like growing up, being black, my mom used to tell me like when I was a kid, I was just like, "Yo, Owen, you have to remember you're a black guy. You're gonna be a black man." I was like, "Mom, why you telling me like you're black? I never got it, right? I was like, "Yo, everyone likes me, Mom. I have so many friends. All my teachers are nice to me." Like, as a young kid, it's so hard to experience racism. But she was mentally preparing me to know that wherever you go, you have to remember who you are. You have to work 10 times as harder to get the things you want. Some things we're not gonna go to because you're not going to be able to comprehend why they happen. But you have to know deep down there's hidden forces which you cannot see, but you have to be able to interpret them as you get older to see why those are not happening. So she prepped me heavy early on to have a certain mentality, and she told me that a lot of things are not going to be given to you because of certain things. A lot of the things you want you'll not be able to have access to them because of your background and everything, but you will still be able to attain them, but you might have to go a different route just to be able to get the things that you want. So be ready for that. I used to like blow her off. I'm like, "Oh, whatever. You're just talking just to talk, right?" But as I get older now, man, I'm 27. I'm like the prime of my life. I'm seeing everything she told me back in 2002, 2003 playing right in front of my eyes, man.
Facts. What was your very first racial experience?
Very first?
Yeah.
I think when I moved to Canada, I realized that life was going to be different in Canada than it was in Nairobi. And I say that to say, back in Nairobi, I didn't even know what being black is. I had no clue. because everyone's black. Like this is like the race. This is what life is. Imagine growing up from 1 years old to 7. Your reality and your childhood is shaped by those formative years. So and you would see like white people or whatever. I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. Those are like foreigners. But life as I knew it, it's us as Africans. If we go to Tanzania, we go to Uganda, we go to South Africa, we go to Somali, everyone looks like this. So you're kind of like in this bubble. So when I come to Canada, that's when I was labeled, oh, you are a African American. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm Kenyan. Like, what are you talking about? You know? So when I came here, all the kids would make fun of my accent. They will make fun of the way I spoke. When I used to bring food from home, like the lunches, they'll be eating these like Lunchable, like those crackers with cheese in it, right?
Little
And
shits.
these cheesy stuff, like you rip up the plastic and then there's a cheese dip in it with some salami. And my mom is like making me hot food, bruh. You get me? She has a flask with rice and beans and like peas and cabbage. It's like home cooked meal. So it's like warm when I open it. So one time, like when you open these things, a whole aroma fills up the whole classroom,
Yeah.
fills it up the whole joint. And I remember one kid just looked like, so like when I opened it, everything is stuffed in there. It doesn't look presentable as you look at it in the plate. One kid comes like, ew, like what is he eating? Oh my God. Like, what are you eating? Is that like what you eat in your country? Like, guys, look at this. And I was just like on my chair, dog. I'm like sweating. I'm like I'm attracting so much attention. And everyone's just like, oh, man, like, what are you eating? And, so stuff like that, like those micro first grade 3, I'm experiencing what it's like to be different. The way I speak was always just like whenever I say something, he's like, cute. I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, like, hey, where's the bathroom? One kid will be like, where is the bathroom? Like that, they'll mock me in my face. I was like, I'd go home and I'd tell my mom, I was like, damn, mom, like today was rough. Kids are just laughing at the way I speak, and yeah, dude. So that's what going, man. How about you?
My first racial experience. Firstly, bro, that was insane. I actually had something similar happen to me at lunch.
Your mom was packing you hot
about
food.
the food for sure.
Black moms, bro. They don't let us go to school like eating
Word,
fugazi.
word. Yeah, I started complaining though, and then I got diagnosed with lactose. So she started giving me like a whole bunch of white food. I ended up getting pea butter. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have peanut butter. But bro, pea butter is the most trash spread on the planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
you need
yeah,
to
she
mix
gave
it
me
up with
like
like a jam or something for it to taste good.
even with mixing up with the jam, it's still trash if you like peanut butter.
Word,
I'm
eh?
a peanut butter lover. Yeah, pea butter is just, it ain't it. But my first racial experience was at Whitfield Academy. You know what I'm saying?
Whitfield Academy.
Yeah. It's funny enough. It's called Whitfield Academy. My kindergarten class. A teacher, I was there for like half a year, and a teacher had made like racist remarks to me, apparently, and to my mom about me. So I ended up leaving the school. I don't remember this because like I was like a parent-teacher interview or something like that. She thought I was like a thief or something like that, or I was like exemplifying racial, like, I don't know. I can barely remember it, but my mom would tell me about it because it was crazy that like at Whitfield Academy, like I was getting treated racist, and my last name's Whitfield. So
I told her I own this joint.
a lie. She thought, yeah, bro. And I think that she said that like I wouldn't amount to anything as a kindergarten. Like from
How do you even
kindergarten,
know that?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. It was nuts. That was a distinct memory. The biggest one that I remember is the fact that I didn't know it was racist, but I knew it was bad. You know what I'm saying? So I think I was 11 or 12, and I had never been called nigga before, and I went to cadet camp. I was in cadets, and someone had given me a condom. I'm 11, 12. I don't even know what condoms are at this point, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm still so young and like unaware of life. I think that's like what, like grade 5, 4,
12,
you
yeah.
know?
Grade 12 is, I mean, age 12, you are 9, grade 3,
11,
10.
12.
Yeah, so you're grade 5, grade 6.
Grade 5, grade 6. So yeah, you're still very, very green to stuff. So this guy gave me an extra large condom in grade 5, 6. Firstly, I'm like, what the heck? You know,
It
then
actually said
after I was like,
Excel on it.
yeah, yeah. It was, and bro, I kept it till like grade 9, 10, and this is a whole other story, but
Little souvenir for you, man.
exactly, yeah. But as I was walking away, he said something racist, and I don't know if it was the N word. I don't know what it was, but everyone else reacted to it. I think I had blocked it out of my memory, bro, because it was like some crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And have that, but I knew that he said something crazy because like my uncles would teach me to like handle somebody if they talk crazy to you, you know. So everyone else had been like, "Oh, he said da 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 da," you know. So I walked up, and this is a thing my uncle used to do to me to you know, like make me like cower. Like he used to like take my hand and like would like rub the knuckles together.
Yo, man,
you know?
my uncles did that the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? And you know, they take it and you just feel like your wrist will like pop off or something like that. It's like they grab it
Yeah.
so hard, it's like you are paralyzed
are-
right then and there. It's like you're at their mercy. It's like you try and move,
Exactly.
they press harder. So you just like stand still there and you're like, dog, like don't even try anything that's gonna mess me up.
Word. So that was the only defensive move I knew at the time. So I walk up to him like, "It's okay, bro. It's okay." And like I grab his hand and I do that exact same thing. I rub his knuckles together. And he's like, I'm sorry. It's like, and I didn't even know what he said, but I was like, "Don't you ever say no shit like that ever again in your life." And he's like, okay, I'm sorry, uncle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then just let him go.
Man,
That was like my first time, you know. From that moment on, they never say nothing else.
he just saw you, you know, nod his head, keep it moving.
Exactly, they kept it moving.
You gotta teach these guys a lesson from time, bro. Like, you know, even for that to happen, sometimes as a young guy, people will try and test you. And, you know, people will see, I'm not a very combative guy, but like when I was tested, I defended myself. And I think that was in grade 8. This story was like one of legends. Like I was like, recess, you know, we're playing football in grade 8. I got super fast. There was like this one kid, Sean. He was like the golden child of school. Like he was like the athlete of the year, and used to try and like neg me for whatever, trying to just like push me to try and react. Because he noticed I was like becoming more of an athlete than him. I was faster, I was stronger, and I was just coming into my own. So this summer coming into grade 8, I just like was training hard at the YMCA like for basketball season because I'm travel. And we're playing recess, you know, I get the ball, man. Like I was like Ezekiel Elliott out there, man. I was just like, my cuts, my jukes, everything was just on point. So every ball I got, I was just like blasting. I was getting touchdowns. And throughout like that first couple months of school, like September, October, I noticed, you know, he used to like just talk shit. And whenever he like do dirty plays against me when, you know, we're playing. So I'm like, man, like, what the hell is this guy doing? So I kind of let it go. One day, we're about to go back in class after lunch recess. So it was like one of those like things that, yo, last play wins. So I get the ball, I get the pass, I catch it. I'm going towards the touchdown. And as I'm running, like he catches up to me low key. And there's like a big tree right on the left. So he pushes me to the tree. I'm like, yo, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, bro, you've been doing this like the whole time since we started back school. Like, wagwan. He's just like, oh, you think you're so much better than us? You think you're so much faster? You think you're so, huh? He pushes me on my chest. I'm like, yo, Sean, I really don't want to do this. And then he comes in. He's like, oh, you want to go, buddy? You want to go? I'm like, yeah, bro, let's grab. I'm like, all right. So I push him. He kind of hits like the tree. He comes for a swing. I was like, Ali, bro. I kind of like, you know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I back up, and then I just like, I didn't even know I had this like strength within me. I just like went for a punch, boom, clean, right? Hit him. And the guy, like, bro, it was like connection. Honestly, I've never boxed. I've never thrown a punch. I've never done whatever. But he came after me. I kind of like dodged him, and I was going for my strike, and I hit him like right square on the jaw. Bam!
Wow.
The whole squad. This is grade A, right? Everyone's just like, "Oh my god, yo, Owen! Oh my god, bro, what happened? What happened?" Sean goes running inside, and like whatever, and there's a trail of blood. I'm like, "Oh my god, like this is the worst thing ever, man. I did not want this at all." It was so bad. I got suspended for like 2 weeks from school. But I just kind of claimed self-defense. You know, I was like, man, like everybody saw what happened. So from that day though, like that story, this is a small town. I think what that story did for me is it let me know, like, it kind of got around that, yo, if you were to fight this guy, this could happen to you. And mind you, I'm not a fighter, right? But I think it cemented me in a place where if you were to try me, this could happen. But I was never even going to try anything with anyone. That's the thing. But it was kind of a blessing in disguise that it happened because, you know, I had a reputation that I can fight. But I'm not a fighter, though. But I had that reputation. If people who know me, they know I hate fighting. I don't like fighting like that. I'm a peaceful guy. So I think for you, man, when you hit the guy with the wrists, he kind of just like, oh my god, and everyone saw that. Now they knew not to mess with Alex Witt.
Mess with you again, exactly.
You know
same with you, bro.
Yeah.
Facts. You have to let it be known. Hey, I'm not the one to mess with. You gotta do it. What you gotta do is let them know. Hey, I'm not the one.
Sometimes you gotta send a message. You gotta send a message. You know, and you find it to do it in subtle ways, and people just know. They will never try anything, but they know. Even if they try and come like wrong at you, they'll know that you can move like this.
Exactly, bro. Man, you know, speaking of move, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Onlyfans is moving away from all the pornography on their website, on their platform, you know? Bro, what are your thoughts on this, man? Because this is, people are looking at it as like a betrayal, you know?
I mean, I remember watching Kevin Samuels like talk about this on Fresh and Fit, actually. And he was talking to these girls who were saying, hey, we're making so much money on OnlyFans. We're making so much money on OnlyFans. And he was saying, yo, look, you guys are living in this bubble right now where you're making money on this platform, but you don't really have anything else going on outside of OnlyFans. And he actually predicted this. He said, you know, OnlyFans, there's going to come a time where they build their platform up and they build their brand, and they're going to take out adult content out of it. And he was just challenging them, like, okay, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But that was just like a story to, like, you know, tee up with what I'm saying. A lot of companies do this. A lot of companies do this all the time. They will use a strategy where they'll use adult content. They use a lot of nudity to really build up an audience, build interest. And then once they reach critical mass, they'll ban it, thinking that that's going to stay as it is. Those users will come and stay. Perfect example, Tumblr. Tumblr back in 2007, 8, 9 was hot. Was one of the hottest social networks you can even go on. You go on it, you see a lot of like sexual content, nudity, porn, everything was on it. It was like more classified as like tasteful porn because it's not what you'd see on these other sites. It'll be more romantic. Exactly, right? It'll be more with taste to it. Like you'll see like a little nip slip, a little boob or whatever. You'll see a girl's ass. It was it was good. So they sell to Yahoo, Verizon. Verizon owns Yahoo. Verizon decides to take pornography away from Tumblr, right? They're like, we're going to clean it up. We're going to make it nice and like good for the kids because this is a blogging platform and they're trying to introduce a blogging to a smaller generation. Man, Tumblr immediately becomes so soft. It lacks it becomes so lackluster, subpar, nothing on it. Everybody leaves Tumblr. I even forgot about Tumblr. I used to love Tumblr, bro. I used to go reblog swaggy fits, everything. Like I used to get inspiration from, you know, like there was like a lot. I built such a mood board, and a lot of it had some nudity on it. It was not like porn, but you'd be like, there'll be a girl's, butt just chilling when she's in bed.
Yeah.
But now, bro, they sold to another company for 3 million when they sold to Yahoo for $1 billion. So that's the danger of like taking out what OnlyFans is doing, is they're in danger of becoming another Tumblr and losing their value, because this is what brought you guys so much attention and fame, and now you're taking it away, and you're taking away people's ability to make money.
Yeah, and the pathway out of this is going to be a challenge because it's the brand they've created. It's not like they created more of a Patreon to balance with the OnlyFans. It's been, with the hub content, it's been way more hub content than Patreon content. So their goal now, which is pretty obvious, is, hey, we want to be a Patreon competitor. But Patreon already has the brand for that. If I'm a podcaster, a content creator, YouTuber, I'm way more likely to go and create a Patreon than an OnlyFans account. That's just what it is. And it's because the brand is more suited for that. So they're going to have a real struggle and a rebrand struggle. So shout out to whatever PR team tries to do that, because they're going to have an uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? So
this decision is, I just don't even know why they're making this decision when their brand equity, the brand equity is worth billions.
I think they want to get out. Probably, that's my assumption. When you're trying to make those kind of decisions, you want to sell the company. Apparently, there's like this whole like conspiracy theory that there's a group of people, like a Christian group of people, who are putting pressure on their payment providers to not mess with them. So with that, they're like, oh well, now we got to concede to getting rid of hub content, so they don't they can mess with those payment providers. That's the conspiracy theory that's been going around. But the hub has a payment provider, so whichever the hub is using, they can just go to that same person. There's a lot of payment providers out there. There's still a lot of hub content across the internet that's popping. So if they get money, there's definitely got to be a way for them to get money. Point blank period. So I don't think that the conspiracy theory is all the way true. And I think they just wanted to raise money. The brand is a double-edged sword. It works well in terms of getting new users, but getting new investors is a lot tougher, right? Because no one wants to be associated with a sin stock like that if they want to go public, if they want to grow. So honestly, what it sounds like is ego. You want to make more money. We want to get more investors. We want to actually grow to sell as a company, when they're probably growing like crazy organically through their current thesis, so yeah, man, it's sad. A lot of people are going to lose jobs. A lot of girls are going to lose jobs, but there's going to be another
competitor
OnlyFans for sure. That's going to pop up.
OnlyFans.
Listen, it's the oldest industry in the world. There's always going to be guys who want to pay for women.
Yeah, and just to see, I think what the allure of OnlyFans is, it's the girl who's not as public as with their nudity, but you're curious to see what do they have to provide in that arena. You can take like a normal girl, like you possibly went to high school, and she has an OnlyFans, and if you like that girl in high school, you're thinking, she has an OnlyFans, I'd pay to see what it is that perhaps I did not have access to. And I think that's the allure of it, is a lot of common people who are not working in the sex industry are now having sex accounts where they showcase this nudity. So the mystique is what it is. It's because regular porn stars, you easily have access to them. There's like free porn sites you can go watch it, and they're common. But for the regular average girl who has this, there's that mystique of like, this girl is not really out there like that. But that, that allure of her is what draws people in, because these are just regular girls like putting out sexual content, and you might know these people, and that's what excites you to go check it out. So there'll definitely be another platform like that. We'll see what happens, but I just think OnlyFans is making a a bad decision by switching up on people like this.
Yeah. I was listening to a few podcasts on it. I think Lena the Plug was on Philip DeFranco's show, and she mentioned that like what was their competitive advantage is that they were like Instagram. Also, I think who was it? It was Adam 22 that mentioned it, but a few people mentioned that it was like Instagram in terms of the UI UX. So that's why they had a competitive advantage as well. So it wasn't just like the value you're getting, but the actual use case of it. That made it more easy to use and friendly. So that's why they're really like thing on it. But I think that could probably like if I was OnlyFans, man, what I would have done is maybe try and like white label their brand to go something else. You know what I'm saying? I think that would have been the play. I would have kept OnlyFans and then made Patreon competitor to go with that, and then have a whole other arm. That could have been the move, man. Bro.
Why wait? Why take all your users out? Just keep them happy. Create another, like, duplicate the platform. Just say, hey, for those people who are interested in making an OnlyFans account for non-sex, whatever, we have this other one you can try out. So you're not alienating the people who are already there. You're still double dipping with the brand that you've built and the access you have of people. Hey, even use the same people who want to put nudity. They can create another side of their content, which is like straight up, hey, this is me singing.
Exactly.
You can access me on this other one.
Word.
Like easy.
Word.
Easy. Like you still make people happy. You just charge them a higher subscription for doing that.
Facts. Yeah, that should have been the play. That should be because they already had the UI UX. Literally just like hire teams to duplicate that whole process. That's what I feel like they should have done personally.
They should pay us for consulting.
I lie.
We just save them like so much millions of dollars of investing in building a non-OnlyFans brand.
Exactly. Instead of trying to rebrand them, they could have had investors go with it. Because like when you have multiple brands, it kind of deflates the bad sin stock. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we have OnlyFans, but we also have this amazing platform that's this Patreon competitor. I don't know, bro. That's just me. That's just us. Armchair CEOing. But
exactly.
Yeah, man.
Podcast CEOs.
Exactly, podcast CEOs, man. What else is new with you, bro? What else is on your mind?
What other things that's been on my mind is we're talking about what I brought up to you earlier is stagnation in entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And I wanted to get your thoughts on this because as entrepreneurs, we're always building, we're always creating, but there's moments where you feel as if you're not really taking the next step in your growth. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to hear your thoughts on this as someone who is building an agency on the side. You've been at this business for a couple years now. Mm-hmm. And I wanted just to, have an open conversation, have an open dialogue with you and understanding, when you feel those moments of stagnation, what do you think causes them and how does an entrepreneur break out of that stagnation while not really deviating from what their core competency is with their business?
Man, that's such a big question. Firstly, I think you need to watch what you're taking in, in terms of information. Mm-hmm. Who are you listening to? Because that facilitates your growth, because the mindset of the person driving the train is gonna control where the train goes. That's been one of the biggest things. And from surrounding myself with other entrepreneurs, I found that they just been focused on growth, on networking, participating in different factors to help them, get to the next stage of their entrepreneurship journey. And that's really what's been helping me, as well as positive affirmations, and really speaking to the next thing. So, and of course, is looking at the numbers, looking at the data, because without that, we're just other people with opinions. So I've been looking at what's been working, and I've been looking at my client acquisition strategy and seeing, all right, I got 2 clients off of this, I got 1 client off of this. All right, so let's double down on those strategies and go harder on that. And that's what's been helping me grow. And now I have more leads in my pipeline because of that. And I'm looking to get on other platforms. I'm about to start going hard on TikTok now. That's my next move. And yeah, that's what's really been helping me when it comes to being stagnant is looking at data, looking at the people that will contribute to my mindset, and doubling down on what's working. So, yeah, man. But at the same time, bro, like I get like a ton of doubt sometimes. You know, I get like, the feeling of, man, like am I in over my head? Am I gonna fail at this? You know, but you just gotta like just keep talking to yourself positively. You know,
Man,
because it happens, bro.
man.
Like when you hire people, when you yeah, and they don't fulfill on their duty sometimes, or when you have like a tough feedback from a client, you know, you really have to like take that on the chin and, you know, just get up the next day and then go back to it. You know, you realize that you have to be a glutton for pain. I think is one of the biggest things, is being able to be, all right, that was a problem, let's try and solve it. And that hurt, but I got to get up, and tomorrow's the next new day. Let's get back on the grind, you know? So
Yeah, you know, it's when you get those blows, it's a mental blow to yourself when you're thinking about, you know, what is it that's gonna take us to the next level. I mean, I'll share something with you personally that happened to me like earlier this week. I think we had a conversation about the podcast and, you know, what we can do to like really grow our community, grow the brand, and stand out as a company. And I remember we were having this conversation, like we're searching for answers. We're searching, okay, what do we do as a YouTube, as a whatever? And as we're putting out more content, and we're like, okay, man, like are people not rocking with us anymore? Is it whatever? And I remember going for a walk. I was going beside the water, and I remember just sitting down. And honestly, bro, I was so I felt so like down for a second, because it was that feeling of stagnation, which I'm talking about. And bro, honestly, it was a moment I felt defeated, because we were searching for answers and I couldn't even really grasp, oh, what is that going to be? Because there's so much things when you're building a media content creation. There's no blueprint to whatever we're doing. There's no blueprint to showcase how did so-and-so blow up? How did so-and-so get to the next level? How did they get so many views? Even when you get to that many views, like, okay, we need to go get cameras. We need to go invest in this equipment. Okay, we need to find a way to bring money to get these, because you're building a media company. So you need money. Okay, where are we going to get all this money to get this equipment? And bro, I was looking at the water. I was sitting there, man, and just like a tear fell down my eye, bro. Really? Like, wallah, bro. For real, man. I was just like, man, you know, and I just had a reflection of how long, you know, being on the path of being an entrepreneur and how difficult it is. And as much as positive, as much faith as I have in what we're doing, and I know we're going to get to where we're going to get to eventually one day, it was just a feeling of, sometimes you just need to let loose, man. You need to, you just and just feel all that pain come out of you, bro. You get me? And I remember just like, I was at the farthest end because I just wanted alone time. And I remember this couple walked by with their dog and they looked at me because I was sitting there. I don't know if you've seen that Popeyes meme of that lady just sitting down, looking down at the ground. She's like a cook. She's a fry cook. And I think it was taken from the whole chicken sandwich saga that happened back in the day. You remember?
I don't remember this.
You search it up.
Popeyes bean.
But yeah, Popeyes lady sitting in the back looking down. Are you looking it up?
Right now.
But as you're looking that up, guys, yeah, it was such a difficult moment. I was just thinking about the journey personally for me. You've seen that?
Man, she just sitting down. You can tell that day's been long. Yeah, for sure.
It's been long, right? Yeah. So I was just sitting there on the benches, just looking down. I was like, damn, man. You know, how are we going to get to that next level? Okay, we need to get money. Okay, how are we going to get this money to buy this? Okay, when we buy this, okay, we need someone to help us produce this. Okay, how are we going to get that? You know, so it's every solution you think, you see the obstacle that you need to get over to get that. And then once you get that, okay, we need to get there. Then that's another obstacle you got to get to. So it's like this maze you're going through. Once you open a door, you're met with another wall. Then you got to go around that wall. Then when you get over the wall, you got to open that door. And then you got to find the keys to that door. And you got to find the keys that fit to open that door. And then when you open that door, it's like, okay, when are we going to get to the banquet hall? Like where we can actually, okay, we made it here, right? Where is that? How do we get to the banquet hall, bro? And that's the question I was asking myself when I was feeling. So I'm just like, man, I was just like, you know what? Screw this, man. Let me just stop thinking about it. And I just played like my jazz music, chilled there for a second, drank some water, wiped my tears away and just went back to the crib. So just wanted to tell you that that's what happened to me that day, man. Like when we're thinking about ideas and how to get on top.
Bro, I hear you, man. Sometimes it'd be so frustrating. You'd be there, it's like, bro, what's going on? But I realize that like some days you just gotta fake it, bro. That's what I've been realizing, man. Because there's some days where like it's just not looking bright. And you just gotta put on the face of it's gonna be okay. And I think the challenge is when that runs out. That's I think what the challenge is.
When you start, bro, you're talking about faking it. I was faking it.
It's like, all right, my guy, I've been faking this for a while now. Now I'm like, all right.
You can't fake the funk forever.
And now you're like, all right, I've been faking this funk for like a good little while. Now I'm starting to feel the realness of it, So it's like, all right, this is really starting to hit. Let's get on top of shit for sure, bro. And what that is this where you gotta try different shit. That's really what it is, man. We just gotta try different shit, and get out of our comfort zones. That's what I think it is, really. And that's what I think we gotta get like, for the podcast specifically. That's what I think we gotta get in person, man. Like
in person, that's the next move
for sure. Like I don't know how much it's gonna cost, but like you just gotta set that up, get them cameras up, and just start rocking
cameras
in person, man.
Invest in cameras, in mics, a producer to help like record the whole joint properly without us. It's one thing to record. But then there's one thing to record when you're thinking about, okay, is the camera gonna stop on us? Okay, is that camera working? Having that flow of conversation, especially when you have a guest, you need to have that stress not on you because you need to make sure the cameras are working, the mics are working, and that's why having another body is so key to making sure everything is going. Like we need a Jamie on board. So if we have any Jamies out there who are listening. You're a fan of the show and you want to contribute and you want to be part of something big, a multi-billion-dollar media brand hustle over everything, then join us. Hit us up at 24/7 Hustler, Elevated Alexander, or Owen Osinde, and let me know, guys.
Come join Death Row.
And also, share. Come join. Exactly. And also let us know, when you feel stagnant in your process, in your business, how do you get over that emotional, block to move over to really still keep going? Because we're all winners, but sometimes we have roadblocks. We don't have answers. So how do you guys manage and how do you cope with that? We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, honestly, please DM us. I think that would be a great conversation to have. Getting over those humps of anxiety, depression, languishing. One podcast I was listening to was Diary of a CEO. Shout out to Steven. I'm talking like I know him. I can't remember his last name, but his first name is Steven. Y'all look up that podcast. It's really good. And even some of the top entrepreneurs who build multi-million-dollar companies, that they get into this hamster wheel of this languishing and consistency, where they're this, on this hamster wheel of continuing, and they're building something up, but they're losing themselves in the process because they're wrapping themselves up in their business, they're wrapping their families up in their business, and it's like a baby, like one thing I noticed is that when a lot of these entrepreneurs sell their company, they actually go through grief. They go through the 7 stages of grief from losing what they consider like a big part of themselves, and they have to rediscover who they are. It's like an athlete retiring almost sometimes, So it really puts into perspective like how much you're giving to this entity, right? And what you gotta be aware of when you're giving so much to this entity. Because when you're so like committed, it takes a lot from you. That's going to take from your family, from your friends, from your health. You know, you got to be aware of that and take steps to counteract that, whether it be taking time to, you know, recuperate with whatever your positive vice is. Like, sometimes people might have playing video games, playing a specific sport, going for walks. Like, think about what are some of the things we do. For me, like, I got wrapped up in my business like the last few weeks, and I haven't been going for my walks as of recent on my bike rides, and that's been having an effect on me. But I'm going to the gym though.
Those walks are key.
Walks are key, and that's why I'm happy I live by the lake. And like, honestly, I feel like I might be like the move for life personally. Is like to live by a body of water. You know, like as humans, I feel like we need to live that. I used to be like, oh, y'all live by bodies of water because of the U.S. Now I'm like, as humans, it's probably better. You know, and yeah, bro.
Man, I could not agree with you more, Al, man. Like, I swear there's something about water that puts your state of mind in a tranquil place. It's, you can't explain it, but just the smell of it, when you stare at it, it just puts you in a place of peace. And you're actually allowed to just unleash yourself, man. It's like, it's different. It's different, man. And I can't agree with you more. And I'm happy to hear you're back to working out, man, now that the gyms are open, you know, back to our fitness.
For sure, bro. I am 260 pounds, bro. I'm a big boy, bro. So I'm in the gym religiously. I wake up at like 5:30 a.m. and I'm in the gym for a good 45. And then I start my day. So that's like my normal flow now.
You be up in the gym just working on my fitness. He's my witness. Ooh-wee. And I don't
know that one. Which one is that?
Fergalicious.
That's why I don't know it. Yeah,
remember Fergalicious?
Yeah. I know it, but
bro,
I left it out of my
memory.
Remember,
man.
Fergalicious?
Yo, that's a classic Fergalicious, man.
Oh, is that Fergalicious?
Yo, Fergalicious was as a
indigent. Oh,
Fergie.
Yeah. Man, Fergalicious is a scam.
Just working on my fitness.
Cause she ain't got no ass. You should be like, all my humps, my lovely lady lumps. She be showing no body.
Bro, I used to think she was so thick, like, but she's not. She's pump faking everybody.
Word, her and J-Lo. Those are the two biggest scams of entertainment that J-Lo and Fergalicious had.
Who said J-Lo's an ass?
That was the biggest thing, that J-Lo had the most rampacious, you know, protruding. The way they were talking about J-Lo. Scam out them there.
You know, I used to I'm like, dog, I'm like, maybe I'm not seeing what I'm seeing, but I don't see it. You know when, like, a scout tells you, like, yo, this is the hottest basketball prospect coming out, and you just go and they just don't pass the eye test. You know the eye test? It's like you haven't even seen it, but like, yo, you don't pass before I even watch you play. You just don't pass the eye test, like, you know? So that's what I used to say. I'm like, where's this J-Lo hype coming from? And I bought into it. And I used to like mentally think, oh, yo, J-Lo's packing like that. I'm like, no, she's not. She's not at all.
Never was.
Freaking people,
they tried to convince us that J-Lo had body, Fergie had body. Yo, man, they tried to brand Pink as like the angst white girl that was like with all the black people. You know what I'm saying? Industries, man. They tried.
They tried.
They won. No, they tried to succeed.
This is how you manufacture.
Succeeded. Let's keep it a fact.
They did. But I think people need to wake up.
Yeah, we woke up, definitely.
We woke up. We woke up and smelled the coffee. That's for sure.
Facts. In other news, though, people who woke up and smelled the coffee today was TDE. You know, because Kendrick is gone off this next album. You know, which is interesting.
Man, like Kendrick Lamar.
Interesting. Top Dog Entertainment is losing their their main cash cow. It's interesting, bro. Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna.
What's up? No. I was just gonna talk some crap, like say your bish, your bish.
But I think this could be good for J-Rock and you know Schoolboy Q and Ab-Soul, because now that Kendrick's off, they'll have more room to blossom. You know what I'm saying? More attention can be on them. SZA's getting a ton of attention. But Absol is not really getting that much. So this is the music pod, but just to like talk about stuff that's been on my mind. So
Man, like the TDE
yeah.
roster, they're all kind of the same, right? They all have like this kind of no, hear me out. Their vibe, like certain artists, like if you go to Young Money, they all have like a Young Moneyness to them.
What?
Like, yeah, yeah,
Bro,
like Young Money,
that's
Lil
saying
Wayne,
Tyga is the same
Drake.
as Drake.
But I just think like when you look at like SZA, Absol, Zakari, all these guys within TDE, I feel like every label, their artists kind of have like okay, maybe it's just the way I perceive things, but when I see a group of people, I kind of see like they kind of take on like the same energy, and I feel like Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, Drake, they all have like their own. Maybe it's just like from them associating with each other. Like I mentally put them in a block of you guys belong together, and whenever I see them, I kind of associate Absol with like the Kendrick type of sound or whatever, or the Zakari or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm coming now? Is that making sense? It's like there's a mental association with them man doing what they're doing, and their music kind of starts sounding alike in the way they make beats, in the way their sound, and etc. That's what I meant by I kind of see them all alike in a way. They're like more branches of the same tree,
I mean,
of the same nucleus. They have the TDE nucleus in it.
I mean, in regards to Young Money, I guess they're all off a fruit off of Wayne's tree, but I definitely think that they have their own sound, their own style, their own way of communicating. You know, like Absol doesn't sound anything like Schoolboy Q. They might be on the same type of beat sometimes, but not. I don't even know if I would say that. You know, like Schoolboy Q has his own defined style. You know, Kendrick has his own defined style. Absol has his own defined style. Like their own branding, their own individual lanes. You know, so I couldn't say. Maybe like at the end of the day, like to the end consumer, it's like, you know, buying. I don't know what I could compare it to, like, I don't know, like flashlights. You know what I'm saying? Like the end of the day, you want something that shines bright, you know. But like there's different levels of flashlights in the lane, but at the same time, there's gonna be the main consumers that use a flashlight to get that job done of listening to music. But
Yeah.
nah, bruh. I see them in totally different lanes, but now they have the light on them to really like go far. I think Absol is like the main person that needs like that hit, because J-Rock's had hits, Schoolboy Q's had tons of hits, but Absol still hasn't had that one hit, that commercial hit. You know, I think everybody besides Absol has had his success. I don't think Zakari has had his success either, but he's new. You know, so yeah, I think Absol is well overdue his time in the light for sure. You know, but let's work towards wrapping up, man. The last thing's on my mind, speaking of like the music industry, is the royalties in podcasting, man. Let's talk about this.
Yo,
because
let's discuss. So what's happening within this world?
So take this in. So if a song streams on Apple, right, that artist gets paid royalties on that song for a 3-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute song, right? If someone's on Apple Music playing and on that platform, they get paid for that. If my podcast plays on Apple Music or Apple Podcast for an hour, we make no money.
An hour stream
versus a 1-minute stream.
We're keeping people engaged for an hour on a platform.
We make no money off that. How does that make any sense? On Spotify, if I keep you engaged for an hour, there's no royalties given to the artist who has that person on that platform for over an hour. How does that make any sense? Like, even if it's like a fraction of a cent like it is with streaming, there should be some kind of royalties given out, you know? How does that make any sense? And that kind of explains Spotify's new move of investing heavily in podcasts, because they ain't got to pay nobody. They can just come and pillage like Joe Budden's word, pillage the content creators.
What does that even
pillage
mean?
Means like it's like rob. Like let's look that up to have a specific definition. Pillage, Jamie, can you look that up for us, please?
Jamie, pull that up.
Pillage is like excess of robbing. It's like to rob a place using violence, especially in wartime. The action of pillaging a place of property, especially in wartime. Yeah, it's like, we're destroying your whole, like you're taking everything.
It's a hostile takeover.
Exactly. So that's what it seems like the new industry is doing with podcasts. That's why it's getting so popular, because it's a win for people who want the clout and people who want to take advantage of them and get them streams up and get people on the platform for a longer period of time. So, yeah.
So you're saying that, from what I'm hearing, is you're saying that these companies, the Spotifys, the Apples, are using podcasting as more of like a top of the funnel way to get people on their platform and then subscribe so they can listen to the music and everything, while not compensating the content creators for bringing people to their platform.
Exactly. So with Spotify, what they're doing too is that it's a property game for Spotify. That's where they're buying up podcasts. That's why Joe Budden didn't join Spotify, because they wanted to buy him out and everything under his network that he was going to drop
and own his content.
So they have the content play in that sense, right? But with podcasts now, the fact that there's no royalties that's given out is the play as well. So that's what I think is messed up. Like there's no form of compensation for keeping people on the platform for an hour. That's ridiculous.
What solutions do you think they should implement?
Podcast royalties. It's that simple. It's that, hey, if you have a podcast, you should sign up for this royalty program and get royalties that way. That.
Yeah, like YouTube.
But you disagree though. Like what's your opinion, bro? Because
well, I think when we had this conversation earlier on, I didn't really see the whole problem with it, because I was looking at it from a position where music and podcasting are totally different, where music as an industry is already established. You have record labels, you have people who have masters, they have copyrights on their music, and etc. And Apple is essentially allowing people to listen to these tracks while paying these artists and paying their record labels the money. Podcasting there's no podcast Sony Music Entertainment or Sony Podcast Entertainment where you can say I've signed towards a record company as a podcaster. So I was under that mentality and I was looking at it from them. But then I stepped back out and I saw, okay, as independent creators, as independent musicians, not every musician is going to be on Sony or any other major record label. But if we're coming on and we're bringing people to your platform as creators, we should get compensated for it. So in the beginning, I was disagreeing with you, but when you broke it down, I definitely do agree that if there is like a YouTube royalty network where you're playing ads on our podcast, if you're not a subscriber to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I know it's free, but if you're bringing people on board, still have like a way to compensate people, and it's also a win-win for them to get money off advertising too. I just think podcasting is like, they need to make podcasting, as it's getting hotter, people need to pay to listen to podcasts, especially Apple Podcasts. It's the biggest, they own podcasting, right? They have the biggest podcast platform in the world, and it's free. So if people can subscribe to that and, we can make money off it, I think that's the next play.
That is the next play. That's what they're moving towards. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to work towards wrapping up. It's been a great podcast, a great Wildcard episode. We didn't even introduce the podcast. How horrible of us. But you know what it is. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the hustle is what you can control. So control your grind and control your life. I'm Alex, and that's Hustle Over Everything podcast, y'all. Peace.